Yeah, it's for the butcher ones, the fan bleed blood to blood. Y'all came from our culture, tried to sell a soul in the club, but now Milan fights back. Check it, Redbird suits, not to get clipped, no slack. Jerry running numbers while we taking it back. It's the Red Devil anthem, the streets gonna ride. This the whip Jerry, make them feel in the long pride. Mess with the legends, the people, the crest. Now the fans on the hot, no soup in the rest. When you play with a heart, best believe there's a cost. In Milan, we kings, y'all about to get tossed. Yo, came through like vultures, eyes on the stack, but you missed what we built. Blood, sweat, in the pack. Disrespect Maldini, that's crossing the line. Now you got the fans on side waiting to shine. We don't do this for profit, this love ain't for sale. You turn our sacred badge into stock market tales. But in these streets we loyal, real kings never fold. And if it's beef, you want the fires ready and cold. We fight at the heart of the club, played us like pawns. But now the Red Devil's rising, your reign is gone. Jerry, watch your back when you land in Milan, cause the people won't stop till your empire's gone. Redbird suits, love to get clipped, no slack. Jerry running numbers while we taking it back. It's the Red Devil anthem, the streets gonna ride. This the whip Jerry, make them feel in the long pride. Mess with the legends, the people, the crest. Now the fans on the hunt, no soup in the rest. When you play with a heart, best believe there's a cost. In Milan we kings, y'all about to get tossed. Yo, it's deeper than the cash, this the blood in our veins. From barbarity to shiver, respect the name. You corporate vultures don't know about the pain. When you strip away the heart, what the hell remains? Saying Syria was a fortress, but y'all tried to burn it. Messing with tradition, when will you learn it? Red and black mafia, the fans stand strong. And for every suit falling, there's another song. Jerry talking business, we talking the streets. You can't quantify passion, we don't play for receipts. Pistol with your whole boardroom, no remorse. When you mess with Milan, we'll settle the score. Redbird suits, love to get clipped, no slack. Jerry running numbers while we taking it back. It's the Red Devil anthem, the streets gonna ride. It's the whip Jerry, make them feel in the long pride. Mess with the legends, the people, the crest. Now the fans on the hunt, no soup in the rest. When you play with our heart, best believe there's a cost. In Milan we kings, y'all about to get tossed. Yeah, I came for the money, but it ain't your game. In Milan we ride for the badge and the name. From Van Basten to Conquer, the legends remain. While your suits play numbers, we dealing out pain. So pack your bags, Jerry, the city's too real. You sold dreams, but we see through the deal. Milano, don't bow.
What's happening, Milan Nation? We're back for a special mid-week, pre-holiday, pre-Christmas special. I'm your host, Nicko. I'm joined by my co-host, Shane. How you doing, Shane?
Good, man. Good. All settled in for the Christmas period. This fucking train wreck of a club keeps giving us gifts that we don't want. So we must have been complete assholes this year. But anyway, yeah, I'm good, man. How you been? Y'all set?
Yeah, getting stuff for the holidays. Have the family in town. In-laws are in town. I'm off this week as well. First time having the week off all year from work, which is needed. Other than that, yeah, obviously our intelligent owners have diarrhea of the mouth and just they went off on a tangent to Harvard Business School the other day. But we'll get that into a bit. All right, everybody that's tuned in, thanks for jumping on, locking in, supporting the channel. Obviously, we're going to touch on two main subjects today. All right, the first one is a response to a post that I recently put up on X. It's got a lot of attention, a lot of traction. Some negative, but mostly some positive stuff. But being that they grabbed a lot of attention for the fans, it touched a lot of nerves. I'm going to touch that today. dive into that. And then later on in the show, we're going to dive into the comments made from Jerry, Ibra, Furlani, even Pulisic made a comment as well recently. So, which is kind of surprising that a player came out and talked about the club's plans, which is just strange to me. I don't understand how that came about. Don't know why. But anyways, that being said, let's dive into today's show. All right. So obviously this one's Nico's rants. So recently, I'll even pull up the tweet. So the other day, Hellas Verona played our Milan. And obviously it wasn't the best game. All right. Anybody watched it? It was kind of a boring game, but there was a moment where we scored a goal. We actually put it behind the net. Fofana, it was a one-touch pass, split ball through 5 different defenders to Tajani. And I'll show the play in a minute, but I posted saying that it was a nice pass, but let's be real. Anybody who's watched this game long enough for a coach can tell you that's basic football, especially for a professional player. Professional players at that level should be able to use 2 feet. That's taught as early as U10, U11, to use both feet to pass. And that's your focus on that all the time during training. All right. Obviously, when you get to the pro level, if you can't pass with both feet, there's a problem, in my opinion. Also, I said also the nice timing on the run by Tajani to stay on sides and make the run behind the CB's back. Cool. All right. Also, I said that, however, these skills are taught at kids at an early age, as early as U11, and these are football fundamentals. All right. Especially at a U6, U7, they teach you how to, they focus really on dribbling, on the ball skills. When you move up the ranks in the academy and the clubs, they get a little bit more sophisticated, the training sessions. That's facts. So that being said, there was some negative. Mostly let's focus on the positive stuff too. So then I'll respond to one at a time. So Remy at Blue Juice Ray played footy for near a decade and was close to a professional level before your knee injury. All right. That pass is not basic. Weak foot and quick thinking, but Fofana should be praised. It's also not just timing from Rangers. He saw an opening, believe Fofana would try that. And Q footy IQ. Yes. I agree. It was a good pass. But like I said, Remy, at that level, you should be able to pass with both feet. And I did praise him. I did say it was a nice pass. Didn't call it. I didn't say it was fucking. I didn't disrespect the players. Didn't disrespect the team. None of that. And also, so response to XOSCVVR, disgusting behavior from you calling that assist for fun in basic football. It was a top class pass. If you can't recognize that, educate yourself, son. Well, to respond to that, again, it is basic depending on your expectations. If you've never seen high quality football, all right, and I'm not trying to flex, but I've been around this game way too long. I've had my family's full of ex-coaches, ex-players at different levels. So I've been watching football for over almost 30-something years. All right. So I've watched a ton of football in Greece, US, etc. So, and I'll reply to one more too. Mark La Rosa. No offense, but if you ever played football in your life, good luck pulling that pass off with the opposite foot, also threading it 2 midfielders and 2 mid defenders. Well, I'm not a professional player, so I can't do that. Never claimed I am. But like I said, pro players should be able to do that. And one more response before I get into it. And I'll get into the play itself, because this is a big one. So let me pull up the... So let me, before I get into it, Shane, what's your thoughts on that play?
I mean, the one game I didn't be arsed watching because
did you watch the replay at all?
No.
Okay, we'll pull it up in a minute. You tell me what you think about it. All right. If it was world class or not.
I'll be completely honest here. I'm at the point where I'm mentally checked out. So, okay. But anyway, let's try it. Maximize. Here we go.
Maximize.
Not maximize.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
So this guy, okay, there we go. His response, so this is JCDC 1988. Yeah, he replied to Martino because Martino really put a traction on this tweet. Martino, thanks for reposting it. His response to his own tweet about coaching this sort of thing from an early age. As a football coach myself, I don't know if you are or not, you could possibly be, I can't deny that. I can assure you that nobody's teaching that defense splitting passes like this at an early age. So I really want to hone on this comment because this is kind of a bold statement. And I'll tell you why. If he's teaching in the United States, I don't know where he's teaching football at, but I can tell you that there are over 1,000 clubs in the United States, over 1,000 easily, football clubs. Various ranges from recreational to competitive, MLS Next, and there's also over 100 academies at the MLS level and UCL level, okay? So to sit there and say that I can guarantee there's no coach out there or any club teaching these type of things, you're wrong. 100%. Because I could tell you that at certain academies, clubs, they might be teaching the U.S. soccer curriculum, which is super basic, right? They're the ones that they share the curriculums with coaches, clubs. But I could tell you from experience, JCD 88, right, that there are a lot of coaches, a lot of academies, like the academy that I coached at, that design their own curriculum based on European academies. They focus on certain skills. And also, there are a lot of coaches out there that don't follow the curriculum of the club based on their team's skill sets. If you're coaching a team, an A team on a U11, U12, and they want to teach basic passing, but your kids are way beyond that, and they can actually do more on the field, you're going to focus on higher level skills like split passes during rondo variations, and also during small-sided games, you're working on these things. You're also working with your strikers, your wingers on making those runs behind the center backs. I'm not saying they're going to do it at the same level as a professional player, but these things are worked on with certain teams and certain clubs. So JCD 88, thanks for your response, but you're wrong on this one. All right. With that being said, let me get into the play, and you tell me, Shane. I'm going to get your feedback and the people in the chat as well. All right. Because like I said, this really hit hard. I didn't really want to discuss this when I posted this. I didn't think it was going to get a lot of traction, a lot of comments. But before I get into the play itself, let me close down this. I do want to thank all the angry people that got really upset about this. Touched a real nerve with certain people out there. And they got some interesting comments for me. Let me give you some piece of advice to those podcasters and fans. So I'm telling you, somebody who went through some anger management issues years ago, take up some boxing classes, MMA classes, jiu-jitsu, get in the ring, get on the mat, right? And that will humble you. Because nothing will humble you more than getting choked out, somebody trying to take the air out of you, trying to suffocate you with their hands and arms wrapped around your neck, or trying to snap your ankle in half in training, or in the ring trying to take your head off, or a nice body shot to the liver. That will humble you quickly. So that's my advice to everybody's out there. Got really angry, got really personal with my take, because it takes some MMA, some combat classes. It'll benefit you. Trust me. That should be your New Year's resolutions, fellas.
Burn off some of that energy instead of, sitting at home and typing shit into a keyboard. Actually go off and be physical.
Exactly.
Then,
or get a heavy bag. I don't know. Go get your girl and have a good time out in the town.
Burn it off, man.
burn it off. Go to the club and hang out with Rafa and Calabria at the nightclub over there. All right, do what you got to do. All right,
Spot on.
So
couldn't agree more, to be honest, because that is so much the problem. It's not even funny. Like it's literally just
Yeah, it just and like I said, there's been there's some other podcasts that have had way worse takes out there. But being that these certain individuals, I'm not going to name, I'm not going to waste my time anymore. They tend to pick on these things for whatever reason, and so be it. But again, take some classes, MMA classes, and humble yourself, or hang out with your girl, or smoke a blunt.
Or if you're packing a belly, you don't have a girl, right? You see how those two might be interlinked, right? So go off to the gym, burn it off, get a girl.
Burn it
right?
off. Get a heavy bags. Go in a heavy bag for a half hour. Trust me. Or get some kettlebells.
They might be linked, right? Anyway.
All right. So I'll get to everybody comments in a bit. I see Nathan's in the chat. Nathan, what's happening? Fadinho, always good to see you as well. All right, fellas, let's get into the play because I do want to break this down for everybody who didn't see the game. Let me share my screen here. And share screen. Reindeers. There we go. All right. Let's go. We do need somebody to run the board. So but Dean, if you want to jump on one of these days and run the board for us, we'll pay you with, I don't know, something. Free lifetime supply of Mexican beer or something.
Frijoles, baby. Frijoles.
Some tacos from my local taqueria. All right, so this is the play, guys. So let me tune it up. So obviously, the first thing you have to notice is there's very little pressure on the ball, right? So time and space is important. Time and space. If you have time and space, most players are going to make those passes a lot easier. There's Tajani. Look at their back line. Verona's back line is disorganized as well. So this plays a role in this, how this play developed, right? There's no offside trap. You have this guy here. They're kind of disjointed. So there's the run. He totally falls asleep. He doesn't check his back shoulder, this player right here. That's his first mistake. They're not even playing Tajani offsides or onsides, whatever. They're not even communicating at all the back line. They're kind of sitting around flat-footed. No pressure on the ball again on Fofana. Makes the run. Look at all that space between the center backs as well. So like I said, it was a good pass. Nice run from Tajani, going behind that defender's back shoulder. And there's the finish. One touch. Like I said, nice play. But this is not world class. And the fact that we probably haven't seen enough these kind of plays lately from our team, I'm guessing that's why a lot of fans were kind of gassing this play up a little bit. But again, let's not get too hot and heavy over this play. It was a good play, but there were certain issues that went down. Like I said, I just pointed out. Verona's back line was disorganized, no communication, time and space, everything to make this play a lot easier to develop for Milan. So now that you saw the play, everybody in the chat, Shane, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, okay, right. So I was expecting a bit more. So keep in mind, this is the first time that I've seen this. So I have no bias against, either side on this. I was expecting that the pass would have, it was basically a straight pass in, right? The vision, right? I'm not taking anything away from Fofana, right? That was good. And he executed it well, and the weight was perfect, right? I get that. If that was on his bad foot, okay, right? I get it. But yeah, I think if we're calling stuff like this world class, it just shows that the fucking cope levels are at an all-time high in this team. You know what I mean? Now, if that's against someone like, I don't know, Man City, right?
Well,
Uh,
the old Man City, not this year's Man City, because
well,
they're
but no,
awful as
this
well. They're
year,
just
yeah, the
piss
old Man
poor.
City, right? Or let's say Liverpool, for example, right? You go, okay, fair enough, right? Assuming that we could do that. But I mean, again, you know, keep in mind like the quality of the opposition that we're against. I mean, it's kind of, can you really call something world class if it's performed against Verona? Perform that against Inter in the next game. Do something
Yeah,
similar.
exactly, or like you said, Liverpool with like Virgil van Dijk and Konote.
Yeah.
No, and
I
that's a
mean,
good center pairing right there. Like those
if you
guys
can
in defense.
execute that 100%, but that's not to take away by saying that it's a bad pass. Definitely not. No, definitely not. I mean, it's weighted really well. He cuts out a lot of players just with the intricacy of the pass. But let's be honest, though, guys. Christ, if you're calling something world class and it's done against Verona, I mean, check yourself for fuck's sake.
So there was a world class play. If they want to compare that, guys, go on YouTube. I'm not going to even dive into it. Go into YouTube, type in Cruz pass to Vinicius versus Bayern Munich. This is when Real Madrid played Bayern Munich last year in the Champions League. There was a play, and I broke it down on an old podcast, where Cruz had the ball. And what Cruz was doing, Kim J was behind, was marking Vinicius, right? In the middle of the field. And what Cruz did, he faked the pass. Like he's talking about vision, all right? This is the difference. He baited Kim J. He thought that Cruz was gonna pass it to Vinicius' front foot. So Kim J went for the bait because he saw Cruz's eyes look there, that direction. And a split second later, once Kim J had committed to go to defend that front foot, that pass, he makes a through ball behind Kim J's back. Like that, instinctively. And Kim J, by the time he realizes he's out of position because he's trying to defend the ball and going to the front foot, but it goes behind him, and Vinicius breaks through and scores a goal. That's world class because that's not taught. That's instinctively. That's something a player needs to be able to do on the fly. What Fofana did, that one touch, great. But they work on one touch every single day, guys. Teams on every
And
single day you're working on one touch.
Nicko, let's be honest though. There's levels in things. There's levels in all things, right? And performing that against Bayern Munich is a bit of a higher metric than performing against fucking Verona. Even if it's not like a complete similar pass.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
And that's Kim J. That's somebody who was one of the best Serie A defenders when he was at Napoli as well. It's not to get some young kid. Now listen, if that play was if that was Zaroli or Karmada or Vas linking up, all right, one of our kids, I would have been like, fuck yeah, like that's something that you don't expect from a kid, 17, 18. If that was Liberali, be like, holy shit, look at him. Like that's the difference as well. So let's keep it in context, all right, as well. Well, again, I'm not dissing the players, the team, but let's just, look at it at a big picture. That being said, that's all I have to say about that. Let's jump into more important things about the club now. All right. And let's pull up the next segment is called Redbird Spilling the Beans. So Shane, take it away.
All right. So for the last few days, there's a couple of reports in the press. Essentially, there's been a Harvard business report that's been, basically created on the Milan project. An awful lot of it is very centric to Furlani. So I've downloaded it. I looked at it today. It's 24 pages. Very interesting reading. Quite a lot of what's contained in it has been released in drips and drabs to the press already. Right? But I mean, just when you get confirmation about, exactly where the club is going, it's interesting. It's well worth a read. I would suggest you go and do it. Basically Google Harvard Business School AC Milan project, right? You pay your $12 and then you download it. So based on what I'd seen this morning, I have put a couple of slides together because that's what I do now. Let me just share it. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see it, Shane.
Perfect. So just to kind of preface the preface, because the preface itself of the report is great. This was Jerry Cardinale after the Milan derby win in September. So my message to the fans doesn't seem to work. So I would say that the message to the fans is that I won't give you any message until we win. Because I understand that's all you care about. But I'll do my job and we'll do everything we can to win, but win intelligently. And if I do that, we'll be long lived and will help grow the entire, here we go, ecosystem, as I believe it is our duty, right? So that being said, I would look at that and I would kind of say, are we winning yet? And the answer is most definitely no, because we're, not even in the top four, not even in the top six, right?
Or we're
So
eighth.
we're eighth. So are we winning yet? So lo and behold, though, going back on what he'd said, Cardinale has come out. And yeah, he's kind of, he's decided to get involved. And as a result of, him getting involved, there's been this Harvard Business School report, right? And this is the preface, and I am not joking. The preface is Giorgio Furlani is as good talking numbers as I am playing football. That is former AC Milan, quote, superstar, unquote, Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Typical Zoltan, typical Ibra quotes.
Okay, so that's the preface of it. So it starts by, I guess, it goes through a rough outline about the project, all of which we already know that we're trying to, extrapolate value from players based on algorithms and all this bullshit. But an interesting part about this was Furlani when it came to his promotion to the CEO position. So this is from Furlani's own words himself, right? I'll let you make up your opinion about what it means. So Furlani had said, people that rise to the top running football clubs typically come from the sporting side. They're football experts, said Furlani. At some point, they might get a break and they become, say, sporting director, where they're responsible for signing players. And if that goes well, they might get more responsibilities over time, and they creep into the position of CEO over time. But they tend to have no academic background or experience in business. I obviously have a very different profile. How's that working out for us? Answers
Proof is
in
in
the
the
chat.
pudding.
Right. So just answers
let's
in
hear
the
from
chat,
her.
guys. All right, because
Please
just
do.
how is this working out for us right now? Because Furlani obviously does have a very different profile, right? And it's how's it working out for us. Keep in mind, he's obviously not from a sporting background. So this, again, all of this has not been pulled directly from the report. This has been pulled, from other sections of media that have posted on it. Okay. So Ibrahimovic was appointed in December 2023, a few months after Furlani and Cardinale decided to part ways with then technical director Paolo Maldini, a football expert. A five-time Champions League winner and long-time player for Milan, whose father and son also played for the club. Maldini was a club legend and revered by fans. It was a landmark decision to let him go because of what he has meant for the club and because of his gravitas, said Furlani. Well done. But if we wanted to fulfill the vision that Jerry had for the club, we needed to move on. Sure. Extrapolate on Jerry's vision for the club, please. But you can't find that in the report outside of vague kind of referrals to Moneyball and magic algorithms, right? Does Jerry's vision for the club is not sporting success. It's literally to, sell overpriced season tickets to fucking gullible fools who are stupid enough to buy them. But if we wanted to fulfill the vision that Jerry had for the club, we need to move on. The decision created strong backlash among fans, but Furlani and Cardinale stood behind their decision. Yes, they fucking did indeed. Right? And how's that working out for us, by the way? With Curvasu protests, with everything else. Again, how is this in the context of what's happening right now? Right? So that's the Furlani piece. A bit further, right? Furlani and his team were open to selling players even if they performed well. Because fuck it, why do you need good players at your club? Right? Take 23-year-old midfielder Sandro Tonali, right? Say Cardinale. We did not sell him to Newcastle because we knew he's involved in a gambling scam, because that would be illegal. So we didn't sell him. Sorry, I misread that. Apologies. I might have a very specific type of Tourette's. We did not sell him to Newcastle United because we needed to. We sold him because we got a very good offer and we made a risk-reward judgment. We ended up receiving 70 million euros with a 10 million euro earnout, the highest ever in Serie A, again, cash. And on the back of that, we bought 6 new players and retooled the entire team. Right? We do not sell out of need. We sell out of opportunism. If we stay disciplined, there will always be counterparties in the market that would enable outsized returns for players. So with that in mind, guys, I've prepped, right, a couple of, these outsized returns on players that we could potentially are getting, right? And let's look at how this is going. Right, so we've Teo Hernandez, right? It depends on who you're talking to. His agent says he wants to stay. The player wants to stay. Half of the journalists in Italy are saying that he's going to be sold to Man United in the winter mercato, regardless of the personal situations that he's undergoing, right? Apparently there's been a fee of 40 million that's been floated around the Italian newspapers, right? And if I'm saying to you that fair enough, in terms of he is undergoing a bit of a downturn at the moment, right? But still world class in his day, 40 million. So we're accepting a potentially 40 million euro, right? A 40 million euro payment for one of the best left backs in the world on his day, right? Does that sound like opportunism to you, or does that sound like someone who's fucking gullible, right? Kalulu, right? What's the end total in the end, right? I think, is it 18 million, including the loan fee?
Yeah, I think so.
18 million to a direct competitor, right? To a direct competitor that's strengthened them, right? And he's playing well this season. So again, right? Is this opportunism? Is this what we need, right? And then obviously CDK, playing a blinder at Atalanta, obviously couldn't stay because, again, a Maldini player, who the fuck wants those players at the club, Right. So this is part of what Furlani's doing, basically, when they're talking about opportunism and, buy low, sell high, right, until it doesn't work. So Fahadinho, Furlani does not have a sporting background nor a business background. He's financial background. It's a big difference. The CEO must have a business background to broaden the revenue. Fahadinho, that is so well put. Thank you, my friend. That says it far better than I ever could. It's bang on. All right, so just a bit about this. I believe it was John covered this in a previous podcast, but I think it's just well worth, saying it again now because it was also included in the report. So just a bit about Moncada. Moncada himself had a call with Billy Beans every Monday. He asks questions, gives us ideas, and helps us find good players with zealous data, said Moncada. Zealous must be this magic AI. But the final decision on a player is never about the numbers only. Yes, it is. I like us to rely on a kaleidoscope of data points, said Cardinale. What I'd like to do, and sometimes it gets tense, is to create forums for disagreement. Well done, Cardinale. That is the most honest and truthful thing you've ever fucking said, my friend. Ask the Curvasood how those forums for disagreement are going on right now. But when it comes to the numbers, we leave it to Giorgio, said Ibra. When he starts to do his Excel spreadsheets calculations, for instance, which players we can afford, he is a monster. He's a monster. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Wow.
This is while this is not taken from the report because I'm not allowed to do this, right? This is pretty much word for word what's on the report, by the way. I've had to pull these from other reporting streams because I cannot share the report.
Yeah, no. If everybody out there, Milan Post as well. At Milan Post, they release little tidbits of the report on their
Yeah.
on X.
So shout out to them. And next thing, the monster himself, right? So Cardinale, this is also again heavily taken from the report, but not taken directly. I'm not looking to Americanize Milan, assured Cardinale. I'm looking to introduce some American elements that could take Milan to the next level in a constructive way. I'm also turning my attention more to Serie A as well, because why the fuck, who cares about us winning, right? If he just wants, to make more money on the league itself. I'm keen to see how we can help them negotiate international media deals. I'm pretty sure that's a conflict of interests, but anyway, okay. He continued, in America, there is a different relationship between team owners and the leagues. Here, there are multiple layers in a shit cake, Cardinale. Syria, the Italian Football Federation, UEFA, FIFA. That is where the learning curve is for me. Here's the key point. Back home, I could have done all of this with my eyes closed.
Yeah, because winning in the United States and in American sports is not as heavily focused on, or winning being top dog in your league, right? Winning the
Yeah.
I mean, top eight, you're in the playoffs, you get revenues from the club. I mean, because they share revenues as well in the United States. That's the big difference.
That's it. And there's no one, right? And I think because from my perspective, like there's no anti-American sentiment, right? When it comes to what's happening at the moment. I think the difference is that because Nicko, you'll understand this far better than I will, right? But like, there's a difference in the way that things are done in the US and the way that things are done in Europe. Neither of which is the wrong way, right? Because if it works in the US, then that's great, and if it works in Europe, that works great. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're compatible. Is the problem?
Well, I'm surprised he supposedly he had those experience at Goldman Sachs, right, for over 20 years. So obviously they invested overseas previously to by him coming to Milan, buying the club. So what do you do if you're an experienced investor? You do some research in your potential buy, right? Look at the country, the demographics, the laws, the regulations. It's like me going and saying, oh, whatever I can do here, I can go to China and emulate that. No, because in China, they have a different way of approaching of doing business, right? There's most businesses have very strong ties to the Communist Party, whatever. In the United States, it's a little bit different, more independent. Same thing with sports. To say you can, without, him not doing his research, thinking it was going to be easy to build a stadium, to do everything that you can do in the United States, because it's fairly easy to build stadiums in the U.S. in most states, right? New York is a little tricky sometimes. That's why it took one of the New York teams, professional teams, soccer, football teams, years to build their own stadium because of zoning laws. But it is easier to do things in the U.S. And for him to think he can do the same things in Italy over time is just arrogance, in my opinion. Pure arrogance, Shane.
That's it. We need to throw more money at it. That's the issue. And we're not going to get it with these guys. So, because, on the context of Zorus or whatever the fuck it's called, this magic, Billy Bean's algorithm, right? I whacked it into ChatGPT, right? Why does Moneyball often fail in football, right? And the concise reasons it gave me pretty much outline why we are completely fucked under this regime, unless this regime decides to change the way they're doing things, and I really hope they do. So, why Moneyball often fails in football? While aspects of Moneyball, like data analytics and undervalued talent scouting, can enhance football operations, its pure implementation often falls short because football is inherently unpredictable and interdependent, right? So, just to give a bit of background on that, right? They had extrapolated further a bit by saying that baseball was a bit easier to predict in terms of statistics compared to football, right? And that's where they were going with that, right? Success requires investment in star power, cohesion, and intangibles beyond data. Again, this makes sense, right? Look at all of the great Milan squads. Look at any of the great squads, right? Look at Real Madrid. You don't have 11 best in class players, even though they're great, right? You have like 4 or 5 world class players, and the rest is gel around them, right? The competitive edge of analytics is diminished as clubs universally adopt similar methods. Exactly. Every other fucking club is using data to get players. Because Man City or anyone else, even though they do have a big checkbook, right? You can guarantee that they're using data-driven algorithms to find players as well. They might have more money to throw at them when they find them, but everyone's doing it, guys.
Well, Shane, just keep it within the league itself, Serie A, right? So obviously there are other clubs in Serie A that are American owned, right? Atalanta is one of them, partially owned by Americans, I think, and some other clubs. But the difference is, and they'll use algorithms as well, right? Data. But like we were just saying, the difference is they have the right people in place to interpret this data. It's like me at my job. We use data-driven analytics. We use AI, right, for certain things. But you need somebody with experience, right, to interpret that data properly and to digest it. Right? Because if I have my intern look at it, they're going to come to the wrong conclusion and they're going to fuck up. Same thing with Milan. You have Ibra, Furlan, and people with no experience at all, and more importantly, could care less about winning. So the way they're interpreting the data is very different than somebody from at Atlanta.
Very true. And just the concise parts, right? Just the end of this, right? A rigid Moneyball approach risks achieving cost efficiency at the expense of sporting success, especially in a sport where winning requires blending analytics with significant investment and human intuition. So, if we use that last part, the analytics are required, but just to echo what you said, Nicko, if it's going through, if that analytics fucking process, right? If the results of that, that if those results are going to people that have no experience in doing what they're doing, or no experience in building a well balanced team, or no experience in building a winning team, right? How the fuck is this gonna work? Right? Like, this Moneyball thing has been doomed from the fucking start, man. Like, completely.
And we're seeing it this year, especially.
Completely, like, and the thing is, right? Atalanta, like, it's been said by a couple of different people, right? And I'm just not echoing a new sentiment, like, and when I say this, but like, Atalanta are doing a version of Moneyball, but they're doing it successfully and they're fucking winning things. But here's the thing, though, guys. This just goes back to what we said 2 and 3 and last year and 6 months ago and a week ago, right? Us as a club, right? we should be looking for Champions League semi-finals, right? At a basic level every year, right? It may take a bit of time to get there, right? Okay, but we should be looking at the semi-finals as a minimum every year, right? Moneyball, right, can never get us there, right? It's getting at Atlanta, right, to win the Europa League, right, which for them is a great achievement, and they deserve a success because they've been consistent, right, and they know what they're doing, and kudos to them. But the levels in success between the two, you know what I mean? Like just what we should be looking for and what Atlanta should be looking for are completely different. So even if we succeed, guys, what are we going to win? We're not going to win the Champions League. We're not going to win the fucking league. You know what I mean? So it's like we're just limited right out the gate, like, you know. And just to you know, fucking compare the last of this report, there was 2 bits. So it's comparing the Serie A clubs ranked by revenues. This is from the 2022-2023 season. So Forza balance sheets, guys, were second in overall, you know, total revenues. We have 375 million in second place. Juve have 398 million in revenues, 350 in revenues. You know, we're not even winning the, you know, the revenue awards, which is a shame. we're even, you know, we're coming up just short in, you know, in that table as well. Overall, the highest grossing European leagues, it's no surprise it's going to be the, you know, Premier League, which is first. Total revenue 6,967 million total revenues 2022-2023. Bundesliga was second. La Liga just short of the Bundesliga, which is surprising because I think, you know, I would have thought any league with Real Madrid and Barcelona, it would get more than.
Same here.
You know, that's surprising, but again, kudos to the Bundesliga. Serie A, I'm going to be kind here and say that it's just holding enough water compared to the French league. So Serie A is in fourth with 2,856 million in terms of revenues, just ahead of the Liga, which is 2,378 million in revenues. So
and I'm sure next season. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shane. Sorry.
So Cardinale, you know, does have quite a, you know, like an uphill struggle here, right? And if he goes on to achieve what he wants to achieve, which is making the whole league competitive, right, then, you know, he's going to become a saint in Italy, right? Because if he does that, and if he brings the revenues up to above the Bundesliga, for example, you know, I'm pretty sure that qualifies him to become the president of Italy at that point. So, you know, but again, what he wants to do is one thing. It's like, is it actually achievable or not? And for me, man, the answer is just, you know, we see where it's going now.
Well, Shane, he also wanted, his other goal was to build a stadium for every team in Italy as well, which is, you know, we can't even build our own stadium, but he wants to build stadiums for every other. Which is, listen, it's a great idea, but let's be honest,
100%. Yeah.
But we already know how difficult things are with the politics in Italy. Right, and especially he's an American, so there's some bias as well, right? With the Italian government, sometimes they may not want to deal with certain Americans, certain people,
sure,
which is to their own right as well. You know, and another thing too, I'm sure next year, when those financial records are released for this season, you're going to see League way down the list, because I think once they lost their star Mbappe, they couldn't even get TV deals.
Yeah, but it's a pointless league, though, man. You know,
it is.
But the thing is,
it
big, shows you how bad it is. Like if they're just above that pointless league, man, FIGC, or, you know, they need to be kicked out.
Well,
You
I
know what I
think they're
mean?
trying to make moves. What's the name? Isn't it Del Piero was running to be president or something like that? Somebody, a former player, was looking to do something with
Yeah.
was to
Because
run for the elections.
it's a shame because at the end of the day, they're really selling themselves short. You know, it's like I can't understand at what point someone doesn't want to generate more money for the league for their home country. You know, it doesn't seem to be a will there. It's very strange to me. I don't understand it, but anyway.
Well, one thing, Shane, there was one other post comment, somebody else, so I really wanted to touch on this. 'Cause I didn't see this coming. So obviously, Furlani put out things, Ibrahimovic, Jerry, um, for the Harvard Business School, I report. But somebody
Mm.
that I didn't expect to really say anything about this whole thing was Pulisic. So maybe because he's the face of the team now, he's the Captain America. In my opinion, he shouldn't be saying anything, especially the way the team is playing. He should be focusing on his performance and getting the team
He's
that can be competitive.
he's a footballer. He's nothing to do with the business side of the
Yeah,
club.
listen, exactly. So this is what he came out. This is from Milan Post. The club cannot spend €100 million on one player, but they are buying quality players. And it's obvious that there is a lot of thought behind the construction of the squad.
How much
Come
do
on,
you
man.
think? How much do you think Pulisic's Christmas bonus was for coming out with that generic random bullshit? Yeah,
I wonder if he was kind of, this was choreographed with him and Ibrahimovic and maybe Furlani, and they got
it
together to.
obviously was. It obviously was, man.
And
Because,
do you really want to hear this?
like if this stuff like this, right? Can you imagine, right? And this is why I think was it the last rant I did, right? I mentioned the sentence which is if we can even call ourselves a big club, right? Because I'm telling you, right, a big club, stuff like this is never going to happen. Right?
Never.
They're never going to throw their star player under the bus for business reasons, or they're never going to get him involved in promote this, promote our business reasons. Big clubs do not do that, and you know what I mean. They're not going to. Can you imagine Vinicius fucking Junior at Real coming out and saying something about the Real Madrid transfer policy and yeah, it's good and this is why we're doing it? Can you imagine that happening?
I can tell you it doesn't happen in American sports either. This shit is not. Players don't come out with these things. They're
But this is
assets.
the dude. Like this is literally, honestly, they're literally. It's like anything, any fucking like any slight type of fucking like wrangling of public opinion that they can do to try and get people on side, right? They're literally trying it at this point. I mean, do you know even
It,
if even if it was Baresi, right? Do you know if it was Baresi, which I thank God it's not because I love the man, right? But if it was Baresi, right, I would understand it more. Do you know what I mean? In his current role. But like you have a player coming out and commenting on this is why we have this transfer policy. How fucking amateur does that look?
yeah, I'm disappointed honestly because it just at the end of the day, you shouldn't be. This is where he's focusing his attention on is putting this garbage out to
Yeah.
protect. I don't know to go in line with management unless he's lining up for a job to work with Ibra at some point. I have no idea.
But you know what you're saying, like Ibrahimovic, man, he's not going to be here for another year. I'd say
I think he will. I think he is.
I think he'll
Unfortunately,
get recycled. He'll get recycled into some other fucking bullshit with Redbird because honestly, it's going downhill so quickly. You know, you can't like because Cardinale at some point he's not a fucking fool, right? He has to protect his investment.
well, as long as they're making money from T-shirts and the $1,000 jersey they just released, because people are going to buy that.
There's $1,000 jersey now.
There's a jersey that got released now. Gorilla, Ricardus, Fadini. I don't have the post, but somebody put it. It was signed. It was signed on the day that they played the 125th anniversary game.
Oh yeah,
They
sorry,
they,
seen
they
that.
put out a shirt that was signed from all the players,
Yeah,
and they put it up for sale for like I think it's like $1,300.
yeah.
So this is where we're at, guys. I mean, we're there. Instead of worrying about let's try to improve the team to compete in the second half of the season. All right, because we're in eighth place. Let's try to move up and try to get into fourth place,
So that's 1,350 British pounds, which
which
is
is
about what,
fucking
1,600 euros or
that's
1,500
that's
euros.
that's a heavy price tag.
So is
Now
someone
listen,
gonna buy that with fucking Calabria's signature on it? Imagine.
I guarantee it. I know some people that will.
And I know
For
where they're
the
gonna be from, Nico. I'm sorry to say,
yeah.
but like over in the States, that's what you guys do, right? you
Well,
pay like
listen,
you fucking crazy prices for this
the
limited stuff.
50 million Milan fans in the U.S. So yeah, we got
That's
a
it.
bunch of plastic fans that were they're starting to
That's it.
come on board the Milan train.
And it's definitely not because of Pulisic. It's because, some other reasons. It's definitely not because Pulisic. If Pulisic signs for Liverpool next year, you know, like
Yeah,
they're going to be Liverpool fans. So it's like,
exactly.
fuck,
Just like with the Messi fans. Messi fans they jump on board when he signed for PSG.
that's it.
A ton of Messi fans became PSG fans, and
And
when he left,
I'll never
they
understand it.
became Inter Miami fans.
Now the Pulisic thing I'll understand a bit more than the Messi situation. Um, because with the Pulisic thing, he's hands down, right? He's it's probably what he's the best American football player ever, and he's a great football player. And I can understand it why people would get patriotic and they want him to do well, and then they'd follow him. I get that, right? I don't get the people following Messi around though, because it's like one, you can't do it for patriotic reasons because again, Argentina have had so many great world class football players. You can't just bank it all on Messi unless you're under the age of 25 and you don't know who Diego Maradona is, right? Do you know
True.
what I mean? So it's like, but if they're following a player from like, I mean, you're really tuning in to watch PSG because your favorite player is playing like he left Barcelona, which even though Barcelona has been going through the ringer a bit in terms of financial fair play, and as they should, right? They're still a fucking historic team. like, I don't get it. I don't get it. There's a lot of things
Yeah.
I don't get. I don't get Moneyball. I don't get Magic AI, fucking Billy Beans algorithms. I don't
I
get.
hope this report, I hope these comments open the eye, like it opens the eyes of other Milan fans out there. I really do,
See, but
and I really do, because this kind of this is something a lot of us knew already. We said it for since last season, the minute they bought their club. But this, there and the timing of it is kind of odd as well, right before Christmas, which is
they're
weird.
not,
I don't know
dude.
what the reasoning behind that was.
No, I'll
That
tell
seems
you why.
strange.
I'll tell you what it is because this management are not that intelligent about the way that they release stuff because you know that there's a hidden agenda behind this, right? And because they know that they're basically losing public opinion very quick, they're literally coming out and saying, well, if we give them a bit of background information on why we're doing what we're doing, which is destroying any sporting fucking success at this club, it'll make some people cope better. But the thing is, it's not going to make the
Yeah.
fucking Corva suit cope better because it's not going to make us cope better, right? Because we know what the issue is. The issue is centrically Moneyball. It's not Cardinale. If he changed tack in the morning and he said, sorry, guys, Moneyball isn't working. We're going to need to, try and invest in some ready made players and we're going to see how this goes. Right. Then, right, he's bought himself time and he could turn it around. But Moneyball is not going to work. Moneyball is the issue. Moneyball is centric to our problems right now. Our implementation of Moneyball is the problem. And even if it succeeds, we're still not going to win anything of merit. So Moneyball is the issue. So Cardinale, right? We're not fucking stupid. We know that Cardinale is not going to sell the club because it's fucking channel like with less than a fucking 200 subscribers is said. We're not fucking stupid, right? But he needs to change what he's doing because what he's doing is not working. But anyway, if he does or not now is the question. I don't know.
Yeah, I doubt it as well. I don't think so. I don't think we're going to see any changes anytime soon.
Christ.
Because he's got a bunch. Because everybody's on the same page. Does he really want to take the chance of cleaning house and bringing people on board with real football experience that are actually going to challenge him?
He'd need that. Like this is what
It's not going to happen.
What he needs.
Well, that's what happened. What was the reason why a certain ex-player was axed?
Yeah, I know. No, this is
because
the thing.
He challenged him.
Yeah.
But he's got Ibra, who they all follow the company line. Especially now we're seeing with the players as well, which is kind of sad. It's channeling into the football side of things.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Furlani's the CEO is here to stay as well. So that was just a quote there by Gorilla. Furlani's CEO is here to stay. It's apparently a clause of the loan extension with Elliott. That doesn't surprise me because Furlani's Elliott's, flesh puppet. Right. But the thing is, though, guys, fuck.
So we're strapped in for a long season. We're not going to see any movement in January in terms of players, any real upgrades.
Moncada's already said that they're not going to. He doesn't see value in purchasing players.
So supposedly there is news that we're signing some really this kid from the Uruguayan league.
Yeah. Well, he's like 26.
26. Oh, he's 26. He's not even a project. Christ.
No, he's 26, but he's a left winger.
I think he's a left winger.
And that's an fucking.
I've seen him a couple of times here in the Mexican ESPN channels following the South American leagues. But these are the players that we're really focusing on. I mean, this tells you all you need to know where we're at. So,
yeah.
Even top 4, top 5 is going to be a struggle for us.
Could we not get a striker that scores goals? Could we?
Well,
could we not?
Jimenez, the Mexican kid that we're looking at too, that plays in the Dutch league.
Bring him in January, and I tell you that right. I don't exist in this life to see other people pissed off, unlike a few other people on other fucking on other podcasts, right? That's not the way I live. It makes my soul feel better when people are happy, right? Do you know what would make people happy? Is if we bought in a striker to try and actually score some fucking goals in January, and not a fucking lone striker, right? Do you know what I mean? Not a lone striker where she's like, oh, it might potentially, another fucking Tammy Abraham, right? Let's get in a fucking kid for, I don't know, fuck Moneyball, man. Let's put 50 million down on a player. So the longer, right? So despite what I said about, I don't want to see people fucking pissed off because no one ever does. They're somewhat normal, right? The longer that the Curva suits stay pissed off with this situation, the better. Because I think that's what'll, hopefully stoke some change. And for the net, like Cardinale needs to respond with, something in January, man, at this point. Because you can imagine this stuff coming out and the Curva Sud reading this, and all this is basically them saying what they already know, and it's not fixing any of the underlying issues in the first place.
Well, listen, for me, that ship has sailed. They had a chance this summer to make a big splash and a big signing. There were plenty of good strikers out there, big strikers available in the market in summertime. Shane.
Yeah.
Sesko, kids like that, if they really wanted to make a big signing and really make the fans happy and say, listen, this is our gift to you guys. Just like Real Madrid brought in Mbappe. Yeah, Mbappe hasn't worked out as much as people would like. But they're like, this is a gift. Dude. Let's sign a big player to keep the fans happy. Something's not Morata, who's over the hill and a streaky striker. He can go 10 games without scoring goals.
But he's not. But the thing is, Morata's not just a number 9. That's
he's
not
more of
for.
he's more of a deep playing, attacking mid. He's a false nine. He's not
And he's
even. He
not a.
doesn't even.
That's the thing. And he still adds something to this squad, right? But not as like a starting striker. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like him off the bench makes sense. Like no one's disputing that. But like we swapped fucking like a pensioner Giroud. Like fair juice to Giroud, right? He still fucking showed up for us, man, right? I'm not poking at his age, but in the terms of like the age of a football player, Giroud is knocking on a bit, right? So we sold Giroud, right? We got him Murata, who's not the same player, can't do the same things. And then we tried to supplement that with like a complete panic loan purchase, like fucking Tammy Abraham.
Yeah, and Jovic has been MIA. He's no longer on the
Jovic was
team.
another dude. Jovic was another panic fucking buy. Jovic was like if the player, right, if fucking Jovic, right, if Jovic can't make it right at Real Madrid, right, that's fine. I know some players can't because it's too big of a club, right? But if you go to Fiorentina from Real, right, and you can't make it either, right, you're not going to make it at Milan.
Hell no. So just to comment on Ricardo 16th, we have a striker Kamada. We'll have to wait for him to grow up and develop. First, Ricardo,
We can't
he's
wait
grown
for
up.
5-6 years
He
though.
hit, he has grown up. He's developed. The kids, he's matured a lot. He works out. You look at the kid's frame. He's ready to play. Forget his age. Look at his physicality. The way he walks on the field with confidence. The way he plays.
Sure.
He's had opportunities to score goals that have been taken away.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
kid's
and
a
he has
natural.
scored. So it's offside,
He's
but he has scored. Like.
He's got good ball skills as well. All right. The thing is, he's not given an opportunity.
He's Italian, Nicko.
Liberali's different case. Even though he has the skills, his frame's a little too small right now. He gets pushed around off the ball. He's going to need a little more time. Understandable. But Kamada is ready. And I guarantee, I don't care don't say, well, if he was in Spain or in Germany,
he'd be playing.
He'd be starting. Playing. And don't tell me all those leagues are not as tactical. Yes, they're very tactical leagues as well. Both of those leagues.
Well, I tell you, just looking at those financials there, they make more money than we do. So at a certain fucking point,
the kid needs to just give him a chance. That he is our striker. This is our future right here. Kamada.
Yeah.
If they don't want to spend money, if they don't want to spend $50 million on a striker, because I don't think any big name strikers are out there anymore. Just the kid Jimenez, the Mexican kid. Give Kamada a chance. There's Moneyball in a sense.
Fair. That's fair. But like, I don't know, man. You see, because even if they did. See, the fear I'd have would be that, Kamada would play like maybe a blistering season or two, and next thing then he gets fucking punted off to Real Madrid for 120 million by this management. Do you know what I mean?
How do you feel about that?
Well, because the thing is you're not guaranteed longevity of players with this management either, right? Because it started like, guys, like, sorry, my Tourette's is going to come back, and I don't mean what I'm about to say, right? But you know damn well why we sold Tonali. It's because they knew what was going on. I mean, sorry, they didn't know what was going on with the gambling thing. Apologies, my Tourette's, right? But they definitely did, right? So it made sense to junk him, right? It made sense to sell him. But Jesus Christ, though, like, it's, we're still going to be using this cope level if fucking Theo goes, and I think he will, and we're just going to be constantly, and again, like, I feel like I'm fucking like a broken record, because just going back to Moneyball, right, for Moneyball to work, right, it means you fucking liquidating your fucking assets, right, and then buying another 2 or 3 fucking hopeless cunts from the Uruguayan league or the French league or some shit like that, right, and then hoping that they fucking work. Like, it's fucking draining, to be honest.
Yeah, like, I don't know what this season's lost for us for sure. It's over in a lot of ways.
That's it.
Yeah, there's not much in terms of. I mean, the only positive things that even like Jimenez, we seen some moments of really nice play from. Right, if they think they're going to replace Theo with Jimenez is most likely going to go back to Real Madrid.
Sorry, great comment from Ray there, man, right? Ferlani will give Camarda to Inter for free with 50% resale clause. That's about right.
Yeah.
Shit, is that Redbird knocking on your
It's
door?
Jerry. He's trying to shut me down.
Have we said too much?
They found me, fellas. Or it could be some of the angry people that got really angry about my comments on X. I don't know.
X is caught up with you,
my
baby.
front door
You're
with fucking trying
to
with stakes and burning crosses. I don't know.
All right, I think we're gonna drop it there. No.
Listen, everybody, Gorilla, Storm, Ricardo 16s, Ray, Badinho, Nathan, everybody, thanks for chiming, locking in, commenting, keeping the chat going. Shane, always good to see you. That being said, before we drop, any closing comments for the fans, for the team, our followers?
Any closing comments? There's still time, guys, right? Just pretend that we support Monza, and no one will ever know the difference. So we can support Monza. We can just have a Monza podcast. It'll be complete. Fine. At least that way, we can come to terms with the fact, time, guys. Let us know if you want us to rebrand as the Monza Weekly Pod or something, whatever the fuck we call it.
No, I'm going to rebrand my show the Maldini Report, because according to some other fans that I'm pro Maldini, I'm not a Milanista. So
that's it. I mean, I'd have to like Italian players for to respect that. But who likes Italian players? I mean, Jesus.
I don't.
Yeah,
they're the worst.
They are. I mean, who the fuck is like Roberto Baggio? Like Franco Baresi? Like
useless players.
Useless. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, have they ever won anything?
Nothing.
That's it. And if I'm in my early 20s, the answer is no, because I don't know who they are. Anyway, fuck it. All right, that's that.
All right.
Go on.
All right, fellas, everybody. I said my piece the other day with John, but just want to say everybody that's subscribed to the channel this year, supported. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, we're up to we're a small number. We're, like I said, Shane said, we're a small channel. We don't do this for a living. Luckily, we do have good careers, so we don't rely on this to. We do this for fun and for the fans too, just to give you the news, our feelings about the team, and things like that. But that being said, Milan Nation, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year's, and let's strap in and see what Redbird has for us in 2025. All right,
probably nuke the fucking San Siro. See ya.
Knock it down. Take care, everyone. Forza Milan.
Forza Milan.